Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and here on this channel I ramble with articulation, I hope, about a variety of musical video and audio elements from the videos that I watch. And today we are paying a visit to Tommy Johansson, and specifically his cover of White Christmas brackets featuring a lot of people. I have absolutely no idea what that means, but I'm curious. This one's going to be interesting. It was recommended to me quite some time ago by Karina Rederbeck. Thank you for the recommendation. And I love what Tommy does with stuff, and I'm fascinated to see what he does with White Christmas. I loved what he did when I covered last year his, I can't remember how you say it now, but Oh Holy Night. And he covered that in, was it Swedish? I forget, but that was gorgeous. White Christmas, the most sold Christmas song of all time. Possibly one of the most sold song of all time. Like song specifically with lyrics. I don't remember. It's something crazy. It was written, not as many people think, for the 1954 film White Christmas, but for the 1942 film Holiday Inn. Yes, it was in both. Yes, Bing Crosby sang both versions, but it was actually written for Holiday Inn. And it just dominated. I think Crosby was in the top. He was way up in the charts for weeks the year that it came out, or I guess the year after, and it won the Academy Award for Best Original Song in '42. And the only other thing I know about that is that it beat out Bambi. There was a song from Bambi that was up for Best Original Song as well, but I don't know why. Oh, no, I do know why I know that. I learned it at a pub quiz. But yes, it's an incredible piece of music written by Irving Berlin, and I think the sort of anecdote that goes with that is that the song that made the idea of the warm and comforting Christmas song popular was written in America by a Jewish immigrant. And it came completely out of left field. It wasn't an idea for music that had been sort of existed previously, and it started the whole trend of these very sort of comforting Christmas songs. And I think the understanding was that, or the belief was rather, that there wasn't a market for it somehow. And yet, of course, there was. And as soon as Berlin came along and composed this, and it was put out, I think he's actually quoted as having, it might be apocryphal, I'm not sure, but he's quoted as having said to his secretary or somebody, I think, I want you to take this down. It's the best song I've written recently or something. It's actually the best song anybody's ever written. And I think its legacy kind of proves that whilst that might have been a little arrogant in the moment, maybe. Genuinely maybe. It is an incredible piece of music. Anyway, it charted, and here's one of the things that amazes me about it. It charted, and I believe Bing's version got to number 4 on the US Adult Contemporary charts. And Bublé with Bing actually got to number 2, and Meghan Trainor got to number 1. So not only is it still popular, it's actually getting higher in the charts than it did originally now, which just kind of fascinates me. Trends in music are extraordinary, and I think they're always worth studying because it's fascinating seeing what happens. And it's, as I say, fantastic piece of music. Holiday Inn, with a couple of exceptions for its age. Fantastic movie. Really, really heartwarming. There are a couple of scenes that don't live up, and I think it might be available now as an edited version, and I think that's a good thing. But it is quite wonderful and very, very Christmassy. And White Christmas is one of the sort of stereotypical Christmas songs almost, but it's stereotypical because of how good it is at the emotion that it conveys and the feeling that it conveys and all that sort of thing. So what Tommy's going to do with this, featuring a lot of people, I have absolutely no idea, but I'm excited for it because what he does is always cool. And I think that's about all I have to say on the matter. So I will jump in and say welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. If it is, the way I work is I'm going to watch this through from beginning to end, commenting and emoting over the top. I will then go back and watch it a second time, this time pausing, interrupting, and offering what commentary and analysis I feel I can, based on what I've just seen and heard, and the foreknowledge of having seen it through that one time before. Please do hit the like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can attach yourself to my channel, but it also does really, really big things for me. Just, you know, sort of getting me out there in the YouTube algorithm. And if you would care to support the channel, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/DavidKreacts, at patreon.com/DavidKreacts, or by leaving a super thanks here on YouTube. More details on that at the end of the video. I think that's everything, so I will just jump on in. Oh, in case you didn't see my last video, I have a weird setup right now because I use 2 monitors normally, and one of them has died. So this is going to be a little bit janky while I'm going to cut here in a minute, while I bring up the video and all that, because otherwise you'll have that weird thing where up here you'll see a video of me and a video of me and a video of me, like going on for infinity, like you do when you share the wrong Zoom screen. So I'm just going to cut through that, and we will cut straight into the video. So if there are a few cuts in this video that I don't put a comment up here, that's why. It's just me cutting because I'm switching between screens. So yeah, I think that's everything. So without any further delay, Mr. Tommy Johansson will take the stage with his rendition of Irving Berlin's White Christmas. I wasn't expecting that, but okay.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Nice.
Just like the ones I used to know.
This is a new style for him. I wasn't expecting it. I like it.
When the treetops glisten, children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming.
He's got a smooth voice for this kind of jazzy style. I'm impressed.
With every Christmas card I write, may your dreams be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Oh, I love it.
With every Christmas card I write. I write Christmas cards. With the treetops glisten and children.
Very good. Oh, this is brilliant.
Sleigh bells in the snow. Yeah. I'm dreaming of a white
The reverb as well.
Christmas.
With every Christmas card I
I'm dead.
May your dreams be merry and bright. And may all the Christmas be white.
Excuse me? Wow. Tommy, where were you hiding that? Okay. Okay. Hello, Whistletones. I'm speechless. I genuinely don't know what I was expecting, but that wasn't it. I can guarantee you that. Wow. I knew Tommy was good, but the variety of sounds he got there was incredible. Really good control of his voice, switching between the characters. Or the people, I should say. I guess characters in the case of Alvin and the Chipmunks. But one, that's just so much fun. What a really, really cool way to to bring other people into your music. And two, yeah, I knew he had a lot of range in his voice, but that's absurd. Oh my goodness. I don't think I have anything to say about that doesn't kind of need to be said in the moment, so we're going to go back and start this thing again. Once I'm done laughing, oh my... that was so good. Okay, let's see what I have to say about this. This is kind of cool. This is new for me, for Tommy. I don't know if this is a style. Hold on a second. I'm going to cut here just because I'm going to close the switch screens for a second. Okay, this is only 2 years old. So December 2022. So this is cool. I like this presentation at the beginning of the video. That's kind of fun, and I enjoy that he's done that. Interesting. I like his choice of instrumentation for that introduction. You've got the piano, you've got the xylophone, or a marimba or something. No, probably xylophone. It doesn't sound deep enough for marimba, or not. There's not enough breadth to the sound. The bass and the drums. It's a really simple combination, but adding that xylophone in there gives it a sense of like it gives it a levity and a kind of, it adds like a, for want of a better phrase, like a toy instrument. And there are toy instruments. The xylophone, I think it kind of crosses that boundary, but it has that sound of being sort of cheeky, you know. It's not quite slide whistle territory, but it has something that gives it like a cheeky holiday feel, and it doesn't take a lot, and it's really, really effective for this intro. So those are great choices of instruments.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
I think this is very smart. It's a very simple presentation, which at first glance might be a little plain for a whole song, but when you know where he's going with it, it works perfectly. The red is a great standout. I think, you know, obviously it's a Christmassy color, it goes with his introduction, but it's also a great standout against the black. So there's some smart choices here just to make him pop in the scene. Obviously he pops because he's the only person on the screen, but he pops more than he could do, if that makes sense. And the idea of just the snow blowing across as well. Very, very simple, but very, very effective. This is great. I like this a lot. Also love the addition of the string, the violin. Just comes in there in the top of the arrangement right at the beginning, and it's one of the first things you hear, actually, I think.
I'm dreaming.
Yeah, that I'm ba. The violin comes in on the same note behind as he drops off the I'm. Very simple thing, but it just adds a tiny bit of extra texture to the arrangement that just fills out a little bit before we kick into the bulk of the song, and I think that's a really smart move.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know. When the tree...
He's playing a little bit with texture. There was a little bit of a fuller chord there between the first two lines. We have what sounds like sort of a quiet trumpet almost coming in on that ba, the top there. There's just little bits and pieces dropping in and out, and it's effective for filling out the arrangement. I think he's made some smart choices there, so yeah, that's good.
I used to know when the treetops glisten, children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow.
He's got a nice kind of croony quality to the way that he's singing here. I think he's made some smart vocal choices for Tommy, which, you know, he's got a very versatile voice anyway. You know, this shows that off. But when he's not playing other people, his own voice can do a lot. And so he's settled for, you know, a kind of Bing-esque quality in the way that he's singing it. And I think it's smart because we're familiar with that with this song in particular. This song is a vibe. And you can either break that vibe entirely or you can take it seriously. And I like the fact that before he breaks it, he takes it seriously. I think that's smart because it gives us this wonderful, legitimate lead up to the comedy that's going to be coming in a few minutes. And it gives a nice counterpoint. so it actually enhances the humor of what he does in a minute, especially once he gets to the more extreme voices. I think that's really, really smart on his part to kind of present this that way.
Children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow.
He's also taking the song fairly as it is, for want of a better phrase. There's nothing particularly, the chord pattern that he's following is the chord pattern of the song, as far as I can tell. It's not going anywhere particularly adventurous at this point. And that, again, gives him license to play with it a little bit later on. And we know Tommy is a master of comedy. If you know his music, if you haven't seen him before, he is, by the way. Also, check the description. You'll find a link to his channel as well as the original of this video. But he's wonderful at doing light-hearted comedy as part of his songs, and not distracting from the song. Okay, maybe in this example it distracts a little bit from the song, but he fits it in very smoothly into his music. And so the fact that he's taking this fairly seriously and fairly legitimately up to that point, like I said before, very smart decision.
To hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your dreams be merry and bright.
Lyric change there, because it's usually "May your days be merry and bright." I like dreams. That's nice. It's both of them are perfectly valid lyrics, but I like that that's what he's chosen to sing there, because I think there's a double sort of meaning to that, because it could mean your literal dreams of, you're asleep at night, have a restful sleep and an enjoyable dream, or it could be that ambition that he's talking about there, and I like that. Again, thus far, still pretty legit to the song. He hasn't played around with it that much. His arrangement is staying fairly similar. He's not evolving anything at this point. And that's because he's about to have this walloping great big evolution come through in a minute.
May your dreams be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
I love that he comes into it with the laugh, too. Like, I heard that, and I was like, where are we going right now? I actually wondered if he was going to put a Santa voice on or something like that. No, that kind of thing. Going into Willie Nelson, I think you could give me 50 guesses as to what might happen in this, and that would not be top of the list. By any stretch.
Be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
I like that he physicalizes it too. It's not just the voice, he's added the guitar, so it's kind of... And I think actually it's an interesting choice for him particularly that he's added the guitar without physically adding a guitar. I don't think there's a guitar in the arrangement, so as an instrument it would have been technically out of place if you want to get picky about it. But I think it's a notable choice that he chooses to go air guitar instead, because it's keeping the visuals of this fairly simple, so that he could, you focus more on the vocal changes that are going on. Plus, he'd probably have had to cut or somehow otherwise get rid of the guitar, and doing it in one take like this, it just brings the video together more cohesively, I guess.
Dreaming of a white Christmas. With every Christmas card I write. Yes.
Yeah, we're going to sing about Christmas. Let's get Sean Connery. That's not top of my list either. The Christmas card. There's a wonderful radio program back in the UK. This is a total tangent, I apologize. Called I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. I'm assuming it is not still running. It was running a long time ago and the host passed away. And I think it stopped after that, but I might be wrong. I don't know. Somebody correct me if I am. I didn't listen to it that far, but I used to listen to it all the time, and they had a round where you had to give new different definitions for existing words. And so you'd give a word and you'd give its new definition. So this is the only one that's coming to mind, other than the one I'm going to use in a moment, but just so that you understand the concept. Dictator. And the new definition was a humorously shaped root vegetable. And one that I thought was very good was shingle. Sean Connery's definition of a bachelor. And I don't know, I felt like sharing. Tangent over. But yes, the idea of let's bring Sean Connery into this, again, on my list of top 50 things that might have happened, this was somewhere next week. Great choice, love it, so unexpected. And I think that's what Tommy does really, really well, is he fits the unexpected in when you're not, when you're not expecting it. Oh, duh. You know what I mean.
With every Christmas card I write.
That's actually a really good Sean Connery too.
I write Christmas cards. With the treetops glisten and children listen.
I like that for Michael Kiske, is that how you pronounce it? He's added, you can see the mouth movement with the vibrato. Again, this is what's notable. If you watch his mouth as he performs each of these personalities, he uses his mouth differently for all of them. And it's not just that. It will be changes in the tongue, changes in where the voice feels. Like, you could have your voice a little bit more in the front of your mouth and it's a bit more projected, or you could swallow it a little bit more, or you can kind of compress it a little bit and force a lot of the breath, get the nose involved more and be a bit more nasal. You can move the voice around your face. And so he's doing a lot of that for these, but he's also using his mouth shape differently. He's obviously embodying the physicality, like here having the microphone or the guitar for Willie Nelson, things like that. So he's doing a lot to affect this, and it's just kind of, it's probably helping him, but also having the visual for us is just a lot of fun as well. Like, even there, you see the difference. A big note for Michael is wide mouth, kind of the tongue a little bit forward, things like that. Bryan Adams, the tongue's further back, the lips are pushed forward. Here, there's a bit more pressure going on in that. It's a little bit more of a forced sound, which kind of fits with Bryan Adams' vocal style. So you can see the different things that he's doing to kind of alter the character that he's portraying in the moment. Also, vocal specialists, if I'm getting something wrong here, please feel free to correct me in the comments. I was a musical director, but the one thing I was never good at in that field was actually teaching singing. I was good at teaching songs and leading a band, but I was never going to be a singing teacher. Let's put it that way.
Slavers in the snow. Yeah! I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Elvis, he even puts it in his eyes. Like, you can see all these changes. I love it so much, and I love that he added a little extra reverb for that traditional Elvis sound. Like, it adds a surprising amount to the quality of the production that's going on here, and it makes it fit a little bit more into that Elvis vibe. That's really smart.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
With every Christmas card I write.
That, yeah. What I'm not sure is how he's produced that. He could have sung it 3 different times. He could have also used a chord function on a vocal processor to duplicate his.
Every Christmas card I write.
It's very clean. Like, all the movements and all the consonants are happening in the same place. And I am absolutely willing to believe that Tommy could pull that off. Like, sing the same thing 3 times and get that sort of exact with it. Regardless, I love the fact that he's thrown Alvin and the Chipmunks in. And they all, of course, a lot of these folks have attachments to Christmas in some way, shape, or form. And, obviously with the Christmas song, Alvin and the Chipmunks very well known for that. So it makes total sense to have them in a Christmas medley of people rather than music.
With every Christmas card I write.
Oh, actually, I've just realised they're not moving in. In my head, I was hearing them all as moving in blocks, but they're not. There's the lower one in particular is staying much more on the same note more than the others are. So no, he's definitely done multiple performances for this. Ignore everything I was just saying about choral processing.
May your dreams be merry and bright.
Luciano Pavarotti, of course, extremely famous operatic singer. Love the choice to include him in this. Totally out of left field. Completely different vocal style. No, there's a lot more of this kind of... there's a boomier resonance going on than he's had for any of the other characters. Where, of course, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and again, with the processing that's gone on there, it's hard to tell how much is his actual voice and how much is processing. But it's a lot more nasal sounding at that point. The amount of variety he is demonstrating to us in this video is crazy.
Dreams be merry and bright. And may all the Christmas be
Damn! I had to get through to that point. What? Like, actually, what? And that what is probably about as high as my voice gets, outside of my falsetto. That's nuts! That is... I don't know what note that is. I will probably figure that out when I'm editing and put a note here. Wow! Firstly, his riffing is cool. And I feel like he's got the style. I'm not the greatest Mariah fan. I don't listen, obviously I hear her music and I enjoy what she does well enough, but I don't go out of my way to listen to it, so I'm not that familiar with her exact vocal style and riffing that is going on, but I feel like he's got her style down really well, and based on everybody else, he has. And then to suddenly come out with that, what I'm pretty sure is a whistle tone, again, not a vocal specialist, please correct me if I'm wrong, but that was nuts! Let's go back on that, shall we? And he actually has a very clean drop out. You can hear the slight shift in his voice as he comes back into like the really top end of his range. You can hear there's almost like a little break sound there as he crosses that break out of whatever on earth level of the stratosphere he was in for a second there. His timing of all of that, because he wants to hit that white later, is really, really good too. The Christmas be white. Like, he's stretched that phrase out really, really well so that he can hit white where he wants to. It's quite a natural stretch. Doing that can sound fakey, but he's actually done it really, really cleanly, and I like that the amount of back phrasing he's doing at that point. I'm going to say, I am going to finish this song in a second. Not since I think I heard the first couple of songs of Jeff Castellucci has a voice blown my mind this much. I've heard a lot of extremes since, and Tim and can obviously get down there. So can Carl in Voctive. There's some crazy depth that I've heard. I've heard some crazy highs. Kate from Voctive, very, very high voice. To hear a male voice do this, I might actually say this might be the first time ever. I'm trying to think, because I've heard a lot of crazy voices in my time. And my musical taste is very eclectic, and so, it's possible, but I don't think I have ever heard a male voice do this. This is extraordinary. And I think the one thing, maybe because I've been doing this now for 2 and a bit years, and I've listened to a lot of those great a cappella groups, is it's harder now to really blow me away for a second, because I'm so used to knowing these incredible vocalists and what they're capable of doing with their voices. So to have something like this come out of left field and break my brain for a minute is extraordinary. I also, a couple of things, I love that he hits the T so hard at the end. You know, it's not may all your Christmases be white, or white, or white. It's white. And it's, because he's singing it, even though he's going loopy with what he's doing with this, he's still giving it a bit more of a classical style and treating it fairly traditionally, especially at the beginning. So the white, hitting that T at the end is important. And I love that he goes from that to just a very, very demure... Like, he knows he did good. He can't not. That was extraordinary. But there's something very sort of just... There's the gentleness of it is very, very sweet as a way to end that off. What do you say when you've just heard that? I still don't really know how to describe it from the first time I heard it, let alone... Well done, Mr. Johansson. That was quite brilliant. And I always enjoy it when people do this kind of thing where they bring in multiple personalities into a song. The choices you made, sir, were inspired. They really, really were. Because it's so unexpected. And I like that he mixed them in, too. It's not like it was, let's wait till the very end and then have these two wacky choices. We get Alvin, we get Pavarotti, these characters who have larger-than-life voices, and these characters that have ridiculous voices. You get Mariah, who's, let's face it, that's what she does. But also it's absurd to a degree to hear that coming from a male voice. You get Sean Connery, who, what the hell was he doing in here? But that was brilliant. That was extremely well constructed. One moment while I cut back to my other screen. Yeah. That was phenomenal and exactly what I needed today. As I'm recording this, that was precisely what I needed today. So thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Karina, for recommending this back in the day. I knew after last year I wanted to do a Tommy Christmas Carol or Christmas song. And that was the other thing about this. I will add a note here at the beginning of the video. But the key thing I should have said was, people didn't believe there was a market for secular Christmas music. Obviously, religious Christmas music has been around forever and a day. But it was the secular Christmas music. That's where this came from, that really kind of was unexpected. But if you're going to play with something, this is a very good lesson on how to do it. But also, you have to be that good to pull something like this off. One, you have to be that good at the impressions. Two, you have to be that good of a performer in general to get away with this kind of thing. And that was truly extraordinary. I enjoyed that so much. Yeah. Well, I have nothing more to say. That was extraordinary. That was wonderful. I'm going to go and listen to it 100 more times. So that will be it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. That was quite brilliant. And I hope I maybe brought something to you, whether a little something that I saw in the video that you hadn't picked up on previously, or the video itself if you hadn't seen it before. And again, please do check out the original in the description below and go and support Tommy and all that. But yeah, that's that. Please do like this video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you would care to support me, you can do so by leaving a one-off donation at buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts, by joining my Patreon for $2 or $4 Canadian dollars, or your regional equivalent, at patreon.com/DavidKReacts. And right now, that is just access to my Discord and ongoing support for me and your name in the credits, which will pop up in a minute if they're not there already. There's not much more to my Patreon yet, but I do intend to do something about that in 2025. I've been saying that for a while. Life's been weird this year. I will definitely get to doing something with it. You can also just leave a super thanks here on YouTube if that's something you would like to do. All of those would be very gratefully appreciated, of course. And that's going to be it for this week. So have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, nighttime, witching hour, whatever time it is that you happen to be watching this. Let's say 8:36 a.m. Maybe somebody woke up early in the morning and they're watching this over breakfast. I don't know. I've got close. I've had a couple of these get close. Somebody's messaged me going, "Oh, I was 2 minutes off." I was like, you know what, I'll take it. But yeah, take care of yourselves. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate the time that you spend with me. I'm very grateful to you. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.